bags are packed, the vehicle's ready to go, and we're getting ready to go to Disneyland, the happiest place on earth. I know for Stacy and me, summertime when our kids were younger was a time for road trips, a time for traveling. We'd load up the van, we might throw in a tent or pull a trailer behind us, and we'd be off. Looking forward to the destinations that awaited us, the people that we would get to see, the places we'd get to visit, and the things that were waiting for us. Maybe you too have had those times and seasons of travel. Travel that is highlighted by a destination, but sometimes is marked by some struggles along the way. As we journey through this world that's similar for us as followers of Jesus. Because of Jesus, we know that our eternal destination is phenomenal. And as we think on that, we think of the wonder that it's going to be when we're in the new heaven and the new earth, and we get to see Jesus face to face, and there's no more mourning or crying or death, or the old order of things has passed away. But in the meantime, we're on the road trip. We're on the road with all that brings for us. As Paul reminds us in Romans 8, 16 and 17, he says, "The same Spirit agrees with our spirits that we are God's children. But if we are children, we are also heirs. We are God's heirs and fellow heirs with Christ, if we really suffer with him, so that we can also be glorified with him." Paul reminds us of something very foundational and important for us. We are God's children. And as God's children, no matter where we go, God is with us. And because we are God's children, because of Jesus' perfect life, death, and resurrection, we have an inheritance. An inheritance that is huge, is amazing, is wonderful, that we can't wait to experience. But as God's children, because we're connected to Christ, we also know that there's going to be suffering. Suffering and struggle. As we wait for the glory that is yet to come. If you think about those road trips you took with your kids or with your parents or grandparents, you might remember that they didn't always go smoothly. And sometimes you end up stuck in a traffic jam. There's been an accident ahead, and traffic is backed up for miles. And you are hoping and hoping that there's a detour. There are other times as you go on that road trip that if you're traveling through Wyoming, you know there are two seasons. There's winter, and there's road construction. And you know that you're going to be inconvenienced depending on the time of year for one or the other. There are those times as you travel along that you may get to have a conversation with law enforcement. And maybe get a nice piece of paper as a result of it. There are other times that the car, the truck, the van breaks down. And you're stranded. These are times that remind us of the times that we have on our journey through this world to the one that is yet to come. And yet, the hope that we have in Jesus is the hope that keeps us moving. Paul again reminds us, he says, "You didn't receive a spirit of slavery to lead you back into fear, but you received a spirit that shows you are adopted as his children. With this spirit we cry, Abba, Father." Sometimes we're so focused on our destination that when these challenges pop up, they sour us on the journey. We wonder why it's so hard. We wonder, why did these things have to happen to me? And yet similarly, we bump into those things on our journey through this world. There are times that it's like that traffic is tied up because of an accident. And we're there stuck in line because of somebody else's mistake. We are struggling and we are impacted by the effects of somebody else's choices. and it has nothing to do with you or for me. There are other times that we encounter winter or road construction. Things that really are nobody's fault, but things that are part of this broken world. And there are times that our struggles are tied to things that happen because this world is a fallen world. It does not function the way that God designed it. And sometimes things break, and we hurt, and we suffer. There are other times that our suffering and our struggle is like that speeding ticket. It's something, a consequence that we deserve, that I deserve, that you deserve because of our actions. And we messed up. And we paid the price for that. The price of the ticket, the price of the insurance rates, the price that how our choices and our sin impacts other people in our world. And there are other times where the vehicle breaks down. And that for me is a reminder that as we are connected to Christ, we're going to suffer. Because we are connected to Jesus, we have a bullseye on our back. And the devil loves throwing darts at us. And so there are times where we're going to face some persecution, and that's going to look different for each of us. And that's going to happen because we're connected to Jesus. There'll be times people mock us, people shun us. People dismiss our forgiveness and our generosity. That people push back on us wanting to stand firm in the values we have as God's children. And we're going to have hard times. And sometimes those hard times on the journey can sour us on the trip. And they can distract us from the destination. The destination that we know is waiting for us because of Jesus. So Paul speaks to us and he says that we know that the whole creation is groaning together and suffering labor pains up until now. It's not only the creation. We ourselves who have the Spirit as the first crop of the harvest also groan inside as we wait to be adopted and for our bodies to be set free. We know a little about our destination. God gives us a glimpse in Scripture of the amazing place that is waiting for us. And yet, at times on this journey, we groan. We suffer. We struggle. And if it's one of those times where we're stuck in traffic because of an accident, well, we're not the only ones suffering and groaning there, right? Everybody who is stuck in that line of traffic is suffering and groaning. They might be people that we know and love and will see again. And they might be people that we have no connection with. We live in a world that is groaning and suffering. And so as we make this road trip through this world to the one that is waiting for us, we can expect traffic times. We can expect winter and road construction. We can expect making mistakes and getting pulled over and cited. And we can expect breakdowns. Sometimes when we can anticipate that, okay, this road's going to be bumpy, but I know there's something great out there that helps us with that day. It's like some of the roads that Stacy and I traveled on as we toured around Glacier. Some of them are nice, smooth paved roads. Some of them are a little skinny for a full-size pickup. And some of them are really bumpy with a lot of things you got to watch out for and things you want to go slowly through the bumps and the dips, right? But you keep on going through those obstacles because you know there's a beautiful lake or a beautiful mountain or some beautiful scenery and maybe some wildlife that's waiting. And the destination is worth the struggle, the challenge, the inconvenience of that rough road that's going there. And yet, as you travel on a road trip, many times you say the word, did you see it? You know, as you're zipping along, maybe you catch a glimpse of a bear or a bison or a glimpse of some deer or some pronghorn. And you point it out and you say, oh, wow, that was neat. As we go along and drive along on our road trips, we see many amazing things just from the comfort of our vehicle. You see amazing scenery with mountains. You see canyons, you see forests, you see animals and lakes and streams and rivers and monuments and skyscrapers and all sorts of cool stuff. And you crane your neck and you look and you take it in. It makes that destination, makes that travel towards that destination a little easier. I know when I traveled with my grandparents, one of the things that we would always look for when we were on our way home back to Colorado Springs was Pikes Peak. We'd keep an eye out. We'd look. Keep an eye on the horizon. Because we knew as soon as we saw Pikes Peak, we were almost home. We weren't there yet, but we were getting closer. And so we looked for those signs on the roadway that remind us that we're getting closer to that world that God designed in the first place. That perfectly perfect place that is ours because we are heirs and God's children. But in the meantime, there is struggle. The whole creation waits breathless with anticipation for the revelation of God's sons and daughters. The whole creation waits breathless with anticipation. That word anticipation there literally means stretching your neck up. Stretching your head and your neck to look, to crane, to see. And while the whole creation struggles, the whole creation knows that there's got to be something better than this. And so we wait with eager anticipation for what we long for, what we hope for. And that hope keeps us moving. That hope keeps us moving. We were saved in hope. If we see what we hope for, that isn't hope. Who hopes for what they already see? But if we hope for what we don't see, we wait for it with patience. Paul points us to that hope. That hope of that time when Jesus will make everything new. When he will do an extreme makeover on this world that we live in and bring it to his perfection. And we look forward to that. We look forward as we make our way through those tough times. And we anticipate what we can't see. We anticipate the joy that's there because we trust the one who has given us the postcard that says, this is what you're going to see. Who has given us the travel brochure that says, this is what it's going to be like. Here's a glimpse, here's a taste of it. And so we go forward with eager anticipation. Pushing through all the delays, the hardships, the detours, the tickets, the breakdowns, everything else. Because we know that it's worth waiting for. We know the best is yet to come. And so as we're on this trip and we take out our ledger and we have on one side all the problems, all the stress, all the suffering, we know that the other side with the hope, the peace, the certainty, the security outweighs it. And it makes the trip worthwhile. Because we know we're going to come to a place without detours, without breakdowns, without accidents, without winter and road construction, without tickets. We're going to come to a place without crying or mourning or pain or cancer or hurt or injury or death or any of the negative, nasty, bad, toxic stuff we deal with here. That's what's waiting for us. And so hope moves us forward. Hope moves us forward because we know that there is one who has already paved the way. We know that there is one who has traveled there and who is making a place for you and for me. And that is Jesus. One who lived, who died, and rose again. Who is with us and also says, oh, it's going to be great. And that gives us hope. And that's the hope that we cling to on the roughest days of our journey. Knowing that the one who speaks it speaks true. Amen. A few questions to ponder and pursue. How is your road trip through life going? As you look at the trip that you have been on as a follower of Jesus, how is that trip going? What has God done to guide you through the traffic, tickets, detours, and breakdowns? We've all had those. On road trips and in the version that hits us in real life. What has God done to guide you through the traffic, tickets, detours, and breakdowns? And what are you hoping for when you arrive at your eternal destination? What is that hope that pulls you forward? Food for thought and maybe conversation for lunch today.